I think I'll start up where Ida left, and that is hindsight, just so you know it, is the most exact science, right? So that means that by trying to understand what we have actually accomplished, it can give us some help to look forward. And what I'll show you is a little bit of what has worked, and then a few minutes on what we really believe needs to start working. And I only have 5 minutes, so please keep awake. So first, what has worked? Well, this is a very interesting figure. It's a bit technical, but what it actually shows is that in 2012, and on the left-hand side, price of per megawatt hour of produced electricity from offshore wind was very high. You see, $200 per megawatt hour. And this was not the beginning of offshore wind. Somebody had been investing in offshore wind for a very long time. Denmark actually started 20 years ago. They started by putting onshore wind turbines into the ocean, and that was because of a shortage of land, and they really saw there was a potential here if they could solve this technology. And the first turbines have actually been decommissioned, so they produced for 20 years, which is really good, but it just showed how long it took to bring down the cost. But it was about governments believing and putting up frameworks, allowing this to develop and supporting it with subsidies. But what has happened that around this grew an industry. So suppliers came along, developers, and finance. What happened was that banks also came in because they saw these investments as a low risk because of the subsidy. Then you could have a ready, steady income for a 20 years period as long as you were producing. And hence, it made sense also to come in at a lower time of project when they were in operations. And that also helped to develop these projects. So a lot of, it's an ecosystem that managed to develop this. And now we have about 18 gigawatts of offshore wind, which is enormous. And prices, as you see, have come down to $50 per megawatt hour, which is competitive with grid, which means that in the future, we will see more and more of the project coming without subsidy at all. And it's come through a lot of technology development, larger turbines. You could transport blades much more easily in the ocean than you can on land, and so forth. So it's a complex area, but it shows that you need stamina, and you need support, and you need to have a long-term vision. And then where is it that we need to do this? Well, it's been mentioned so many times. Carbon capture and storage, it needs to be happening some way, some form, because this is in the long-term perspective. And in Norway, we have industry that is really looking how to play a part in the future, decarbonizing their emissions. This Norwegian project that we're a part of in Statoil is looking at 3 potential industries that could benefit from this. One is the cement industry, the other one is the fertilizing industry, and then it's waste handling. So showing that it's possible to take out CO2 in large concentrations from these industrial players and then transporting it and storing it safely underground, like we have been storing safely underground at the Sleipner field since 1996, shows this potential for this to become something more than just decarbonizing these 3 plants. But it's important to find the framework where this is actually going in the right direction. And then we need the long-term vision, and we need more participation. And that's where we see the potential of this growing into a larger project. And of course, it's around the North Sea basin, because there we can transport, it's just as far to transport from the UK as it is from the east coast of Norway. So you will see potential here to have other industries looking at the same type of challenges that can use this shared infrastructure. And of course, if you share infrastructure, cost comes down. And if you reuse what you have been developing somewhere else, then we will see development. But we need to develop a supply industry around this. This needs to be more than just a one-off. And by that, we need a collaboration with academia, but also with governments that are willing to think far enough to be able to support this growth. Thank you.